I want you to realize something. Lonnie Love came out and said something ignorant. Patrick Patterson came out and said something ignorant. Patrick Patterson is a player for the LA Clippers who referred to black women as bulldogs. Then he came out with a half-baked apology. But first, Lonnie Love. Lonnie Love, you could go on the clip and just type in Lonnie Love on Google, and basically that video pops up of her being on a talk, breaking down. She's crying. She's doing all of this stuff. This is to show you that black people when it comes to racism, white supremacy, black people, non-white black people, are the most confused when it comes to white supremacy. Okay? Now here's my take on tragic arrangements. I do not really agree with tragic arrangements. You can do whatever the hell you want to do. You can have sex with whoever you want to have sex with. You can settle down with whoever you want to settle down with. But tragic arrangements are off code. So Lonnie Love is promoting interracial relationships because either she's had bad experiences with black men, okay, and we're just going to talk both sides of the spectrum. She's had negative experiences with black men, and now that she's in a relationship that she's quote unquote in love, and she's getting real love, and she's being treated the way that she's always wanted to be treated, now she's become a spokesperson for interracial relationships. Now, had she would have said, I'm in an interracial relationship, the person I'm with, we're in love, I just feel like this person makes me feel so special. It's not about anything else but other than this person making me feel special. I would say, okay, well, that's her cup of tea. That's what she likes to do. That's what she's into. Fine. But the whole promoting thing, this goes to show you that black people are the most confused about racism, white supremacy. I would love for you to go. I'll probably get the link and I'll put it in the description. But go search Lonnie Love in YouTube. In the search bar, it should come up. The show that she's on. It's either called The Real or The Talk. And she's just going on and on about kind of like how, in a sense, inferring or implying that her relationship is good because she's with a white man and a white man's going to treat her better. And they have this personal human connection. One important book that people should read, and mind you, Frantz Fanon, he was in a tragic arrangement himself. But that book that he wrote, well, it was called Black Skin, White Masks. Black Skin, White Masks, where he talks about interracial relationships. Man, that he hits it right on the money. And he uses a Snow White analogy where he says the white person is the mirror and the black person is kind of like the witch, or the person that's asking this mirror for validation. It's like black people get with people that are considered white under the system of white supremacy because they're searching for some form of validation. It's like, I'm a human being just like anybody else. And you'll hear in Patrick Patterson, whatever his name is, you'll hear in his statement him talking about equality. So the thing is, a lot of times when you see a black person get with a white person, they're kind of looking at that white person as some kind of mirror of humanity. It's like mirror, mirror on the wall. Who's the prettiest of them all? They're looking for that validation from the white person. It's kind of like this joke that was on Blackish, where you have a black person compliment your car and you say, damn, man, that's a nice car that you got. Oh, thanks, homie. That's cool, man. Appreciate it. But a white person comes by and compliments you on your car. It's damn. Oh, for real, man? You really think so? Yeah, man, your car has all the bells and whistles. It looks really nice, man. I'm thinking about getting one myself. All right? And it's kind of the same. It's kind of the same thing. Where it's just that white ice. It's just a little bit colder, just a little bit. and a lot of us have that in our minds. See, Lonnie Love is a woman. I won't even say that she's unattractive or she's a bad looking woman. I'm just saying she's probably been the butt of jokes. A lot of times she's had the reason she's a comedian is because she's had to kind of combat these jokes, and I don't know what it is, but for whatever reason she feels like she's not valued by the black community. And I would like to say that is what she's doing is based on her own experience. So it's anecdotal because she's not the only big black woman that's dark skinned that, has had issues or whatever. I will say this about black women. Black women are very loyal to black men. I stay in California. California is a city that is kind of dominated by interracial relationships. And majority of the interracial relationships that I see happen to be black men with other racial groups. That's just me keeping it a stack. And I think the statistics back what I'm saying up. But, so for the most part, I say that black women stick with black men. The majority of black women stick with black men, no matter what. They get with another brother, like they break up with a brother, they get with another brother. All right, where you start to see this stuff come in is that stuff like Insecure, where people are kind of like testing waters with different racial groups and all of that. But what this sister is saying, this has been programmed inside of her. This is something that she's always felt. It's not the guy that she's with. What she's projecting is some kind of hatred that she's always had inside of her onto the black community. Okay? There's fucked up people in every single race. Okay? You get on this high horse like, oh, you look at what Michael Strahan's going through. Look at what Michael Strahan's going through. He's going through hell with some white woman. She's putting him through court. She's putting him through hell. But anyhow, it was just very ignorant, the stuff that she said. So we move on to Patrick Patterson. I'm sorry. Keep saying Patrick Patterson. Patrick Patterson, LA Clippers player. He gets into this argument. Maybe the other guy was kind of saying, hey man, why you getting with this white woman? But he got baited into whatever he said. So he says, so I should settle for a bulldog and act like I'm happy with my life and preach keep it in your race to the world as if Dr. King didn't fight for equality, acceptance, all cultures loving one another and no hate, no thanks. Maybe that may be your life, but I don't want that for mine or my family. Color doesn't matter. Wake up. Right? So what you see is, okay, and he's not alone. This is not the only guy that's like this. This is not the only guy that's like this. I have a friend, matter of fact, childhood friend, that's in a tragic arrangement, and unfortunately, even though he's never said this in front of me, I can almost 100% think that this is what this guy thinks about black women. Now, this guy, my homeboy, is not an ADOS. Not that it really matters anything, but it's just the fact that some guys feel like black women are inferior. If I can get me a white woman, I will get some kind of validation. See, this is what Patrick Patterson is talking about when he says equality. Equality. He fought for equality. And some of the colorblind racism that you hear a lot of liberals kind of go down when you speak with some of these liberals, they like to throw that Martin Luther King out as if Martin Luther King, he just approves of anything and everything. But they don't realize that this is Dr. King a lot of times his stuff is used for liberal racism. Okay, and this whole colorblind type of racism. Okay, so when he says, so I should settle for a bulldog and act like I'm happy with my life, he's talking about all black women. He sees black women as bulldogs. Like they're these, think about what a bulldog is. A bulldog is an aggressive animal. And when you think of the negative stereotypes of a black woman, you think of her being loud, you think of her being ghetto, her being very mean, and it's really fucked up what he said. And then his apology, it really was a fake ass apology, because he didn't really apologize to black women, because he says, oh, I wasn't talking about black women, I was just talking about him and his people. Well, if his woman is a black woman, you disrespected all black women. You see what I mean? It's like if somebody call you the N-word, they not just talking about you, they talking about every black person, even the ones that they cool with. So-called. They're talking about their nephew that's basically a product of a tragic arrangement. See, there's all kinds of stuff going on when a tragic arrangement happens. I think Dr. Francis Cress Welsing said it best. When two people in a tragic arrangement have a child, the joke is on the child. Now the child has to grow up struggling with identity issues, feeling like, oh, maybe I don't fit in with the blacks. So maybe I'm half white. You hear a lot of biracial people say, I'm half white. And then the they come around white people, and white people let them know, you're a nigger. Come on. You want some fried chicken? How about some watermelon? All of the racial jokes start coming out. Okay? So he comes out and he says, I want to address my use of the word bulldog. Yeah, you could tell this was somebody of his, as part of his crew, as part of his team, maybe an agent, maybe somebody that's educated and says, oh, I didn't mean it like this. And I probably won't apologize to black women because I wasn't addressing them, even though I was talking about a black woman. So, he made it seem as if white ice was colder. And there's a lot of men that are out here in tragic arrangements. This is one of the things that I kind of saw in Hidden Colors 5 to kind of break away from this topic a little bit. Is that he had Ice-T in there, who's part of a tragic arrangement. He's had Damon Dash, who's part of a tragic arrangement in this thing. And I'm like, well, what's up with that? But on code. All right, so I digress. So let me get back on topic. But if it was a woman like Loni Love, she's the NBW. She's the NBW. When you have a whole bunch of Patrick Petersons running around, there's not that same energy for guys who are black and are in tragic arrangements. Okay? Guys who are black and get in tragic arrangements are just as fucked up as Loni Love is. Just as fucked up. It's that I need that validation. I'm looking in the mirror at this white person. This white person is giving me that validation that I've always wanted my entire life. The fact to know that I'm human. I'm actually a human being at the end of the day. I'm not beneath white people. That I can love somebody who's white and she can love me as a black person and we're equal. You see that type of ideology? This is what a lot of black people believe when they get into an interracial relationship. I remember Professor Flemings. This was a chick that's a lesbian, and she was on Twitter. I used to follow her. I'm like, damn, she's kicking a lot of knowledge about a lot about racism. And she was like, yeah, she's in a tragic arrangement as far as a lesbian couple, and she was talking about that her relationship is like an escape. And I'm like, really? So a lot of people that get in these tragic arrangements happen to believe that this is an escape, that they're actually escaping something, that they're getting away from something. And you're not escaping anything at all. You're not escaping anything at all, because at the end of the day, if a race soldier runs into you and he's feeling like, look, he's taking one of our women away from us. Oh no, this is miscegenation. This is like, we're already going through our little issues with as far as the natural selection. This is what you had, where you had, I believe it was some kind of pumpkin festival up north in California, and some guy, he shot this woman who was in a tragic arrangement with this non-black Mexican guy, and he killed the child as well. So, this is what you have. People that are very confused about white supremacy racism, not really doing the research to understand, okay, why they feel the way that they do. It's been a thing that's been pushed inside of our brains, hammered inside of our brains, that white ice is colder. So that's my take on it, and I'm out.